Hey, 5th grade. I remember some of you being very disappointed that when you built your CubeSats out of cardboard and aluminum foil that you weren't able to launch them. I think you understand why. We don't have many rockets at Diamond Elementary School, and cardboard and aluminum foil will not hold up so well in space. However, I don't want you to be disappointed, so since you can't launch a CubeSat, I'm going to do it for you, and I'm going to show you how. Take a look at this rocket I've put together here. Let's get this out of the way first. Here's a CubeSat. It's about a cube. It's not quite your 10 centimeters by 10 by 10 that you had to build, but it's got a lot of the required components here. So there's the cube itself right there. I've got a battery pack for power here. There's a little bit of power in the cube itself, but this gives us a little extra juice. We've got some solar panels on the side here that'll help us keep recharging the batteries. We've got a little antenna I added on the top here that'll help us transmit scientific data. We've got our little experiment here. This is a thermometer. We're going to take some temperature readings out in space, see what we can't find out there. This is something that'll help us detach from the rocket. Don't worry about that at the moment. I also add a little thing at the bottom here. This is a reaction wheel. That's going to help us control our CubeSat when it actually gets into space. So, let me just slap that rocket right back on here. Here we go. Now, as you guys know, when we're going into orbit, we're going to need some speed, and we're going to need the effects of gravity. Those two things are going to help us stay in orbit here. Remember how gravity pulls us back down to Earth, but speed is going to help us try to break that gravity. Now, because we're going into orbit, we're not going to try to completely break Earth's gravity. We're trying to just go into orbit around the planet. I should mention, this is not really Earth we're on. This is a place called Kerbin, because this is Kerbal Space Program, is what I'm using here. CubeSat Charlie, that's not a good name. Something like, how about the Dolphin Dasher? Get it? Alright, here we go. So we're going to get out to the launch pad here, and I'm going to be showing you the launch. I'm going to be showing you the rocket for most of the way, but I'm also going to have to show you this screen here. This is Kerbin, or Earth, whatever you want to call it. You can see right here, that little flag is the Kerbal Space Center, where we're starting from. And that is our satellite, the Dolphin Dasher, ready to launch, sitting on the launch pad. So when we're going to blast off, we're going to be launching it in an easterly direction. So we're going to be going that way around, and hopefully we're going to put it in orbit all the way around, so it just goes around sort of along the equator's not marked here, but sort of along the equator. So switch back to our rocket view here. I've got it set up in stages here. So what's going to happen is first I'm going to be firing these engines down here. Once these solid fuel boosters have run out of fuel, I'm going to detach them. This will keep firing. And well, you know what? We're just going to dive into it, see what happens here. If you want to count down, feel free. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off. Now, we're not going to want to go straight up, because as you may be able to see here, if we just go straight up, we'll just come straight back down. We're going to want to start to turn, probably right about here. So we're going to start pointing the rocket sort of this way, towards the east. Watch my fuel here, about halfway out of my rocket boosters here. I want to point this way, and as you can see on the map, I'm getting a little bit higher, and I'm getting a little farther out. I want to try to point a little farther towards this direction here. I'm really fighting it here. I'm trying to have it not flip over on me. And my fuel is about out, so I will drop those and keep flying. Let me point this way. Ooh boy. Ooh boy. Almost had that flip over. That was really bad. I want to go a little bit, I want to sort of tilt over a little slower than that. So, this way. And 70,000 is about where space starts in this game. 70,000 meters is about where space starts in this game. So I'm going to cut it off right about, I don't know, how about here's good. So 84,000 meters. Now that's not how high I am. How high I am right now is about 40,000 meters. This is the apoapsis. That means how high that my ship is currently going to get. So we're going to get about, well, it's falling a little bit because I'm decelerating, but that's fine. What I'm going to want to do here is, right, I need to be prepared to adjust my orbit here. So what I'm going to do, when I get to my highest point, I'm going to accelerate a little bit more. Right now I'm saying I want my orbit to look like that about. And we're going to have my highest point, my apoapsis, and my periapsis, my lowest point, be about the same. So let's say, I don't know. My periapsis needs to sort of be above 70,000. Let's put it at 78,000. My apoapsis, it's not a perfect circle, but it'll do. We're going to stick with that for now. So what's happened here on my gimbal down here, which tells me where I'm going, it's telling me this little triangle looking thing is where I'm pointing currently. And if I point it towards that blue marker, and I burn in that direction, by burn I mean turn the engine on, I burn in that direction, I should be able to make this orbit happen. Now I need to burn the engine for 47 seconds, and my maneuver node, or where I'm supposed to burn, is here. The game's tutorial says that you should start your burn about half that time. So 47 seconds, let's make that 48 seconds to make it even. So right about now I should start my burn at T-minus 24. So my rocket's blasting away, and as you can see, my current trajectory, my current path, is getting wider. I'm now going farther before Earth is pulling me back down. I'm going farther and farther as I accelerate. Now I'm about to run out of fuel here, so what I'm going to have to do is get rid of the empty fuel tank and start my next stage. Still got a ways to go, but you can see my velocity here is about 1,900 meters per second and still going up. So we're going to keep going here. You can see how far out I'm going here before Earth pulled me back. I got to keep pointing at that maneuver here. And once this gets to 0, I'm going to try to cut it off and get as close as I can. And let's say right about now. All right, that's pretty close. Let's see how I did. So my lowest point here, by the way, this is just the debris that I've shed, all those extra engine parts that I don't need anymore. All right, so my periapsis, my lowest point of my orbit, is about 80,000. That's where I want it. My apoapsis is 93,000. So it's not perfectly circular, but it will do. It'll go around, it'll stay in orbit as long as I leave it there. Some other time I might show you how to actually adjust this so we can make it perfectly circular, but for now it's a stable orbit. It's not bad. So, and wow, I have a lot of leftover fuel, but I'm not going to be needing that, so I'm going to get rid of that in a little bit here. Alright, first things first, I have to expose my CubeSat to the elements. So, in 3, 2, 1, there it is. My CubeSat sitting right there. And since I don't need this fuel anymore, I'm going to detach that as well. So, here is my CubeSat. I can flip it around, I can move it around a little bit. That's what this is for. Let's slow that a little bit. So now I can sort of rotate it wherever I want. Oh, there's the sun. I would like to have my solar panel pointed at the sun, so I'll just rotate it over that way. Now I've got at least one solar panel facing the sun here. Isn't she beautiful? Alright, but now we gotta get back to science here. I only put one experiment on this CubeSat. I know you guys put yours inside your CubeSat, but not an option here, unfortunately. Not to worry though, we will be able to run this anyway. So, let's take out my thermometer here. Currently reading, oops, let's try that again. Currently reading 311.87 Kelvin. Kelvin's not a unit of temperature we've talked about, but if you can figure out how to convert that to Celsius or Fahrenheit, I'd be very curious to see what you come up with. So what we're going to do here is we're going to log our temperature. We've made a temperature scan in space near Kerbin. We're going to send that to the Space Center. So let's see, we'll upload our data here. Alright, and we have just sent temperature data from just over Kerbin in space to the Space Center. So what have we done today? We've put a CubeSat on a rocket, we've launched the rocket into orbit, and we've done a science experiment out in space and sent the data back down to Earth. So, hope you enjoyed that launch of a CubeSat, and I will see you later.